Hello everybody, it's Stephen again, and I'm here today for the 5th video in this series. I'd like to send a warm welcome to all my awesome copiers, followers and subscribers to my YouTube channel. Over the last week or so, I've received some amazing feedback and love from you all, so I really appreciate all of your comments. So today I'm going to be dropping some educational fire for you and explaining a very hot topic that's going on at the moment. So I will be going through what is short selling, what is a short squeeze, and what is happening with the GameStop situation over the last week or so. So before I explain more about the GameStop situation, it's very important that I explain to you what is short selling. Short selling is effectively when you are very bearish on a stock and you expect that stock price to go down in value. So what you would do is you would borrow that stock, you would then sell it, and then as it went down in value, you would then buy that stock. So you would effectively make a profit from the difference between the sell price and the price that you bought it in at when the price of that stock went down. So let's take a hypothetical example. If I'd done a lot of research and I was very bearish on a stock, I may decide to short it. So let's say that stock is $100 per share. But I expect it could go down to $50 per share. What I would do is that I would sell it at $100, and then as the price went down to $50, I would then buy or cover that short, effectively making $50 per share, but that's before the borrowing costs from the broker, and that's how I would make my profit. So what you need to know about short selling is there's almost infinite risk, and it's very dangerous to short a stock. So let's take that same example of you selling a stock at $100, but the price of that stock just keeps going up, and it actually reaches $1,000. So instead of like when you go long, you wouldn't just lose your original stake. You'd also have to cover at $1,000, effectively making a $900 loss on a $100 trade. So as you can see, you need to be very careful with short selling. So what is short selling? Short selling usually occurs when there's a high percentage of shares that are sold short by institutions and hedge funds. What can happen is you can get a positive catalyst that wasn't expected, or you can get a big group of buyers, like is the case with GameStop, where they drive the price of the stock up. This then scares the institutions and hedge funds who are short a position and forces those to cover those positions at a higher price. So, a short squeeze is not a new phenomenon. In 2008, the most famous case of a short squeeze occurred with Volkswagen. What happened is at the time, the sentiment with Volkswagen was very negative and had a high percentage of shares sold short by hedge funds and institutions. Porsche then announced that they had acquired a stake in Volkswagen, which really scared the institutions and hedge funds and caused them to have to cover their short positions, which made Volkswagen for a very short time on one particular day one of the priciest stocks in the stock market at 1,000 euros per share. So in order to understand the origins of the GameStop situation, you need to understand that 2020 was a very unprecedented year. So we had the pandemic, and many people either lost their jobs or were looking for additional revenue income streams. And many people flooded into the stock market to buy popular stocks, which led to 2020 being the highest volume for retail traders in the history. So what is happening is there is a group of retail investors on the Reddit forum called Wall Street Bets, who are very disillusioned with the way that hedge funds, especially short sellers, are manipulating the market and certain stocks. So what happened in the case of GameStop is that the share price had been decreasing for several years, mainly due to disappointing results and many customers starting to buy their games online, which caused a very high percentage of interest from shorts and from hedge funds. What happened a short while ago on the Wall Street Bets Reddit forum is a user posted that they felt that GameStop was very undervalued and that it was being manipulated by hedge funds who wanted to go short on the stock. There was then a joke from users of the forum to take over the stock and a rallying cry to buy as much stock as possible, hold, and then crush the short sellers and force them to cover their positions. This has caused the GameStop price to go from 280 in April 2020 to 325 as of last Friday. Let's make it very clear, this stock is not trading on its fundamentals. This instead is an ideological battle between common folk versus the elite. But what you need to know is that millions of ants can still do a lot of damage to its surroundings, and they are really now starting to crush the shorts as the price of the stock continues to increase. There are many high-profile short sellers that have already been forced to cover their positions, such as Melvin Capital and Citron, and there are many others that if the price keeps going up, they will be forced to cover their positions. This is also leading to hedge funds actually announcing that they will be very careful in the future about declaring what short positions that they have in order to stop this happening in the future. There are also many famous names that have taken the side of Wall Street bets, such as Dave Portnoy and Chamath Palihapitiya, who are saying that this is a pushback and a movement not only against Wall Street, but also society and the elite. What will happen next? The short answer is I don't know. But what I do know is that like any war, the losing side will suffer a lot of bloodshed. So be very careful when out there trading these stocks. We are also seeing more and more platforms starting to restrict you buying GameStop shares, citing reasons of protecting the retail user. This seems to only be increasing and intensifying the movement and making users more angry and more determined to buy shares in any way they can. Wall Street bet users have also started to move into other highly shorted shares, such as Bed Bath & Beyond, Nokia, and there's even been suggestions of taking on the highly manipulated silver market. I will not be advising any of my copiers or my subscribers on what they need to do here. This is a very personal ideological battle if you choose to be involved, but do know that this comes at high risks. I personally will not be subjecting any of my followers or copiers to any of these downside risks in my portfolio. This stock has already made a lot of people money, but also has the potential for you to lose a lot of money, so tread very carefully when trading this stock. I want to thank you all for listening to this video. If you have any comments, then please feel free to put them below. And I look forward to speaking to you in the next video. Have a nice day, everybody.